Welcome everybody to Bitcoin Live on Saturday with me, Shankar. Before we go on, I have to say my internet connection is very spotty and weak here. So if we fail, we will reschedule and then you'll see us at another time. But let's hope and
Second time.
pray it will go well.
Yeah. Buy one, get one free kind of thing, get two times.
That's true. Welcome back, Shankar. And what a week it was. The markets are exploding, and people are fearing to get out, or should they go?
FOMO.
Yeah, for FOMO in. This is not financial advice, of course.
Yeah.
So, how do you see the
So,
markets?
first of all, Nick, happy to be back with you, despite all the flooding and all you had. So it's really, really a good thing that this date was fixed about a month or more than ago that, and so really happy that we are able to do this show with you today, and hence send out through your channel, send out and share the latest updates that we have on
Thank
Greener
you.
Blockchain project. And also, like you've asked the questions, I think that's very relevant. A lot of people have been asking on Twitter as well as on LinkedIn, people who are aware of what we do in crypto, MXS AI trading system, our own portfolio, etc. So, so first I'll talk about crypto a couple of minutes briefly. Everybody's noticed that the markets, see Bitcoin making new highs. It was already moving up non-stop from the start of the year, but everybody was wondering that when would the altcoins really start. And if you remember our call on Jan 6th, okay, so that's like just 2 months ago. At the start of the year, we did a full 1 hour call almost with your channel about the 10 leading cryptos that I analyzed with the presentation, one slide per coin. And in that, we covered the five truly decentralized cryptos, as I call them: Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum, and SHIB. And then we also covered five leading projects, not decentralized, but leading projects by, let's say, market cap and visibility. And they were BNB, uh, and Matic, Polygon. Uh, then it was Algorand, Cardano, and we also covered Chainlink. We covered, I think, we covered, uh, and it was basically all of them are performing one way or the other well, and they all have good upsides in the coming year. So crypto, the biggest rallies were in Dogecoin and SHIB in the last 2 weeks, and it just confirms our view that it's better to be with those decentralized cryptos, because whenever those gains come, they will also deliver, and we can reduce our risk of these projects, because projects which are not decentralized truly have a risk, a point of failure among the leadership, human leadership. So human leadership is always having a point of failure. So I would use this opportunity to tell everyone who's watching that uh, try to increase the exposure into those five decentralized crypto that I keep talking about: BTC, LTC, Dogecoin, SHIB, and Ethereum. And that will at least keep your downside safe. See, the way to understand is that upside, nobody knows how much it will go. It will go. We all have a view. It will go up. But as long as you can be sure that when the large fall happens, the upside will surely come. At least you have a very good reason to first hold, and second to buy more if you can.
Yeah.
None of the private project coins give that confidence at low levels. That is this the ending of the project with some further bad news, or is this just another low? When the recovery happens, then we feel that it is a just like all of them were having a low. But if you go with like last 120 years of market experience in equities and technology stocks, this is no different. The difficulties in projects will come, and even well-known projects will face that. So for investors, they should stay with where the downside is assured and capped. In the sense, capped as in you can never have of like you can never have no downside, but you can always have a situation where the downside is followed with an upside, and that's the critical part. So these decentralized tokens and coins, they do that, and that's why we should be with them. And the corrections, the downturns, the deep corrections, winters, they should be used for buying those decentralized ones.
So to summarize, you see a lot of upsides going forward.
Yes, as of now, we are in overall. I think we are just starting, or the very early, the first 25% of the rally. For example, our target for Dogecoin is $1 on MXS AI trading system. I've also shared on Twitter. So we have
Wow.
around 15 cents now. So we have a long way to go.
Wow. And ship?
SHIB, there are different ways to see it. Uh, SHIB will not underperform Dogecoin. So that's a simple way to answer.
Okay.
So so one way to see it is that whenever Dogecoin has hit one, let's see where SHIB is, and maybe we can sell some SHIB and take profits at that time.
And another question, I know these are sort of moving targets, and past performance is no guarantee for future performance, and this is not financial advice. Always do your own research. But what is your target? What's your target for Bitcoin this rally? Because you hear like very outlandish targets and
Bitcoin, yeah,
some.
Bitcoin target has been fixed at 125K for a long time now,
Yeah.
and it remains on.
Okay.
And so 125K is where I think some uh, sizable selling pressure may come, and suddenly it may again fall back to as low as like 60K again or 70K for some reason, and again then try to rebuild from there. But one thing is there that like market technicals, which are independent of whether it's commodity stocks, etc., once we cross that 100K level, the real resistance at target is 125K, and this recent the all-time highs that we have, the 64K to 69K zone, this will be the strong zone of support for Bitcoin once it goes up. When it comes down on corrections, that will be the zone where it will try to test and hold and go up again from there.
Okay, and then so basically you see 125 and then a retest to say
Of
like
65
around
to
60,
70K,
and
yeah, that
then
all-time highs, and then again from there it can go higher. So we will see as it goes. A lot of,
okay,
but the thing is that highs are there.
yeah,
BTC.
yeah, okay. Well, that's super interesting. I think you make a lot of people very happy talking about that. But we are here with updates and developments about GEBT,
Yeah,
and that's also very impressive. So let's dive into that.
yeah. So let's get started, Nick. So uh, Green Earth blockchain token, GEBT, and Green Earth blockchain basically aims to bring transparency into the food supply chain, natural healthcare, and natural resources. So things derived from nature and which are everywhere. And within that, we want to build the transparency so that what is genuine and authentic gets the true value. Next slide, please. This is our standard disclaimer. We cover this in every call. Green Earth blockchain token is a utility token meant for the working of the Green Earth blockchain project. The GEBT token does not represent any asset or security, and there are no guarantees of any type regarding the token price appreciation over any time frame. That's something that is totally not in our control. How the prices of the token will go. Uh, Forward-looking statements are there in this presentation, but they are not guarantees or assurance of any type. They are our goals and aims that we are working with, and technology risk and market risk are involved in this project, like with any other blockchain project.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, so let's go to the next slide. So here, for a change, I got 5 questions here on the slide. And uh, what we found in the last few months, Nick, is that as we went around speaking with people about Greener Blockchain project, we found that discussion, some of them come for the crypto part of it, like what is this token, how high can it go, and what is the tokenomics, those questions.
Yep.
Then some of them come with who's the team, what is the background, where is it based, what kind of trading volume is there. And
Yeah.
then there are people who are asking about what is the purpose of this project, why is it existing, and what is the goal. What we found is that uh, we could find a kind of match with who is truly suitable for participating in our project by asking these 5 questions. And these 5 questions have arrived over a time as we discuss with people. And now it's very clear that if we are going to, if anybody is even coming to us, we want to ask these 5 questions to them and we want to see what their answers are like. And that is where the first set of matching with many of our potential team members, various stakeholders will start happening, and it's already happening the moment we use this kind of a filter. So the first question is, do you believe that we must leave a green planet for our next generation without causing damage to planet Earth? Most people will say yes. So I would say that that's an easy one to start with. And yes, we do believe that we have to keep the planet Earth green and not damage it or harm it. The second is, do you believe in supporting authentic, genuine producers of foods and natural products? Here, people would say yes. Some of them are not sure whether how do you define authentic, genuine, but if they are sure that it is genuine, that they would like to support. So yes, in our case, yes, we really believe in supporting authentic producers, genuine producers of natural foods and products because they are at risk in the way they do because of various artificial products and producers. The third one is interesting. Will you plant a tree if you knew that you will never benefit from it or you'll not benefit from it ever? So here, different people have different answers, uh, and we uh, believe that yes, we should do. And in fact, we have been planting trees for the last 15 years, and more than 500,000 trees have been planted by our team over the last 15 years. And that tells us that those people who are of that mindset that we should do our bit for the planet and the ecology and the ecosystem without an expectation of a return from nature. Those are people who are very strongly aligned with how we think, and those people can be very good participants in the project. Fourth question is, will you fight food adulteration even if it reduces your profits? Here, uh, the answers may vary. People may say yes, but they may actually not mean yes. But in our case, we are very clear, we are very transparent as well, that we actually stand for fighting food adulteration. The entire transparency being built on blockchain is to counter food adulteration because there will be no scope for any black box in the blockchain to operate, and that is the place where a form of adulteration or any kind of tampering can happen in a chain. So we are actually strongly against this, and Beenat blockchain has been built actually to counter this particular step. And yes, we are willing to take lower profits for fighting adulteration in whatever form. And the last one is, do you believe the present financial system fairly values natural products, natural resources, and natural knowledge? And here, for this question, the answer is no. So while the first four were yes, for this question, our answer is no. We believe that the present system, financial system, does not value fairly the natural products, natural resources, and the knowledge that is residing in various uh, segments of people who work with nature. Their knowledge also is not valued because, uh, in simple English, nature is kind of taken for granted in many parts of the world or almost everywhere. And it's like, we breathe oxygen, so we assume that it will always be there and it'll always be fresh. We'll always assume that the river or the stream will be fresh, whereas there are people who keep polluting both the oxygen or the air as well as the water bodies. So, and it's happening because the system is allowing that to happen one way or the other. Companies
And
can get away with that. So,
and
so that's something which, yeah,
would you ascribe that problem of the world, and their disregard for nature, and they're taking it for granted. Also related directly to the fact of fiat money, that it's the fiat money system itself that's sort of creating that incentive structure.
Actually, that's a very good question, Nick. Uh, it's partly the thing that you said. The way the fiat currencies are structured, uh, without a link to something on the ground. I mean, you can just literally print. Okay,
Yeah,
so and there is a higher value ascribed to whatever we can produce through humans, like
yeah,
software, financial services, uh, anything that basically what what can be produced artificially or through humans, through plants, machinery. When I say plants, manufacturing plants, machinery, those get value. Whereas across the board, whatever comes from nature is often crushed in value to minimize the input costs. So if I take a very simple example, let's take a pencil, okay, which we use in school, for example. Now, nobody knows where the wood comes from if you take all the pencils of the world. So, but yes, for sure, it's wood is getting from somewhere. It's timber from some tree. Now, if indeed the value ascribed to trees was after truly factoring the value of a tree if it was not existing, the value of a
yeah,
tree will be what if these trees didn't exist? The oxygen levels would fall and we would not have the quality of air that we have. So the value of the trees together on earth have a very high value when we think of the absolutely critical oxygen that we need in air and the recycling of carbon that they do. Okay,
yeah,
now now on a standalone basis, that tree can get cut for a very low cost compared to what it is doing, because we are when you cut a tree, what we are doing is that we are taking the profit today for
yeah,
a lower quality of air for a future year or a future generation, because tree takes time, right? It doesn't grow like lettuce. So it takes
yeah.
it takes 40 years to really 30 years 20 minimum 20 years to the fully grown trees that you go around in forest. They're all more than 20
And
years.
and
Okay.
with fiat money, you can sort of take the future and bring it to the present, right? You can sort of pull the future
Yeah,
towards you.
so exactly, so you can the monetary system rewards products and services now. Okay.
Yeah,
And the tree, which is a the tree is a silent asset. Okay.
yeah,
And a very if it really came down to buying oxygen, and if you ascribe the value of the tree in terms of oxygen and carbon that it's absorbing, oxygen it's releasing, then the value would be quite high, because then it's life critical. But when we don't ascribe the because but it's not today, right? If it's a summation of activities, suppose if we keep cutting trees on every continent, then that net total will lead to something, and that something is not today, it's the next generation that will face. So maybe the next to next generation, they would have very drastic consequences, but we would all be gone by then. And the guys
yeah,
who are utilizing the upfront cash or fiat today at the expense of the future generations, they would have done whatever schemes or fancy things that they want to do today at the expense of the future generations that are going to come. So when the moment we think like that, that the tall tree standing there is more than the market value of the timber, that is when
yeah,
we begin to realize that there is more here as value to the nature. So that last question is about that do you believe that the present financial system fairly values natural products, natural resources, natural knowledge? The answer is no. And in fact, Sandeep is not on this call, but he would emphatically say that it is actually designed to not value natural resources.
yeah.
So
I
he
would agree with that.
Yeah. So
I
if
think that. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
so
Go on.
yeah, so that is his view. So I was just trying to explain it, but he is because he's on the ground with all kinds of organizations, agencies, both on the side of the nature as well as on the central banking side. His view is so strongly created now after experiences that, and that's the reason why we both are co-founders in this project, with him leading the Ganga project effort on the ground, which is having a large footprint. And here we are creating this project of Vinod blockchain with Ganga as our physical retail e-commerce supply chain uh, entity. But
Yeah.
that's the whole point. That the point is that the current system is not uh, valuing natural resources, natural uh, resources and natural products and the knowledge around them. And when I say the knowledge, I can take a step here and say that this is about the knowledge of, let's say, you may have heard of Ayurveda. Ayurveda is basically that branch of medicine which treats illnesses using herbs from nature, herbs or plants or whatever comes from nature. It could even be, let's say, whatever comes from nature, they would use that. And they often get lots of high value herbs for various treatments from the Himalayas, because those are like treasure house for high value herbs. But the summary is that uh, then that kind of knowledge is also not valued. For example, in India, doctors who study the traditional allopathy or the conventional medicine, they would get loans for everything, including setting up a clinic, buying expensive equipment for that clinic. Everything is all set up. Banking system is readily there to fund every part of that chain for him to set up the clinic or a large hospital with the conventional allopathic medicine. But a person who is equally well versed in natural medicine, he gets no financial aid from the system. And that's another way of explaining why, that the point that the present financial system does not value that knowledge.
Yeah.
Whereas,
I always say like the fiat system rewards short term and narrow thinking, and something like Bitcoin or a Bitcoin framework. And I think Green Earth sort of embraces that Bitcoin ethos, is long term and broad vision, right? And holistic vision, which actually, changes your whole mindset. So that's one of the things that I really like about Green Earth blockchain token, and then and also your embrace of Bitcoin and decentralized projects in general.
hmm, so these five questions that we discussed, we have found that these allow us to rapidly uh, proceed with, let's say, understanding the persons who are coming to us saying that we want to partner with you, work with you, or do some association with you. These questions, they help us to move forward and decide very rapidly when we speak with them uh, whether they are suitable or not. Okay. And one more thing I can say on, while we are on this topic of questions, we have found, Nick, that the more entrenched a person is in the current financial system, the fiat system, which is through equities, real estate, various bond investments, etc., the fiat system, the less open he is for the decentralized Bitcoin or crypto system. I have seen that, and so has our team members. So that's also another place that the existing position from where a person comes or his background into fiat also plays a very strong role in how much openness is there or willingness is there to adopt a concept like this, because this goes literally against that kind of a model.
And would you say that's sort of invested interest that they have, or is it sort of like that they're completely blind in because they're stuck in a certain paradigm and that they cannot think outside of it?
No, I
Or do you
think
think lies at all?
it's not that they're blind. It's that they are two things. One is that they have not had a need to go out because they were surviving and doing well with their
Yeah.
system. but they all have seen one thing, that from nowhere, Bitcoin and crypto have come as digital assets, and they have created these large values and assets and net worths in portfolios, which has completely bypassed them. So there they are always thinking that what is it that is driving that. So they all have a question.
Yeah.
So Bitcoin is like that flame which is going and creating that path, and those who don't understand it, they keep wondering, why is this growing? How can it grow? Can it even survive? Many of them even still doubt whether it is even safe, or what happens if it is like
Yeah. Yeah.
they falls down.
I,
Like, who will buy if it is who will buy if it starts falling down? So all those questions
yeah.
come, so, but the thing is that, yes,
It's kind of Shankar. It's kind of like you got Thomas Kuhn, and then the his paradigm shift, and it's sort of like Bitcoin is that anomaly that's getting bigger and bigger, and that at some point you cannot sort of get around it, right? And then it sort of shifts or tips the entire paradigm into a new
hmm,
paradigm.
but that we are still in very early stages, because we are in the current system, financial system, and it is the dominant system, and it rewards certain way of the working, and even the in many countries the access itself of crypto is the ramp on and ramp off. The entry and exit are also tightly controlled and getting more and more difficult, if you ask, with each year. Earlier they had become easy, now again they are getting difficult. So that's
Yeah.
also, but if you think in terms of the technological advances, because this is truly a very fundamental innovation that has happened since 2009 when Bitcoin has come. Now it's very clearly entrenched. So this is a long-term, multi-decade uh, movement or trend, and my view and our team view is that sooner or later people will align, and some people will align now, and some people will align in 2 3 years, and some will align after 5 years or 6 years, when they feel that, like, this is, they have to do, otherwise they don't get that kind of growth that they need or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's different stages of adoption, but as of now we do see that two groups, those who have less deep investments or less deep positions in the current financial system in terms of equities, real estate, bonds, gold, which they need, basically, which needs constant engagement with the current system in terms of buying and selling.
Yeah.
Those who don't have that deep association or positions, they are very open to
Yeah.
all kinds of crypto, and GBT has been welcomed by people like them very openly, and
Yeah.
they are also answering exactly the answers that we have for these questions.
Yeah.
And those
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
setup, those with the position which is deeply in the current financial system, or those who have felt very comfortable in the current system, not because of any reason, just because they don't need any extra gains. Suppose all the gains you needed were coming from, let's say, your bank interest income, for example. You
Yeah.
wouldn't be
So
looking
they're
out.
sort of like, why take that extra risk and do
And
all the
why to do
learning
that? Yeah,
layer
it's
on,
like,
yeah, because
exactly.
yeah, it doesn't make any
Uh,
sense.
so there are
And
people like that as well. There are people like that as well who are comfortable with the fixed returns or whatever comes from the banking system, or
yeah.
whatever rental income they get from, let's say, a house that is on rent, and they say that this is okay for us. And there are lots of them like that. But as we go to younger people, there the willingness to understand and willingness to adopt is really high, and that
Yeah,
is
and
why
I think there's three sort of
that's why it's
additional
yeah. Go ahead.
things that first of all, like what you said, as Bitcoin grows bigger, it sort of gets their interest, and especially if also as the financial system becomes weaker and more unstable. But also, like, generations come and go, right? They die off, and then a new younger generation takes over. But I think another thing that will also help shift the perspective also on green earth blockchain token and crypto in general is like when people start to discover how important Bitcoin is for a greener, fairer world, right? I mean, and that's also something that you embrace, and that green earth blockchain promotes. And yeah, so as soon as people realize that Bitcoin is actually making the world better and greener and more equitable, uh, people, I think, will open their eyes more and more.
Hmm. Yes, I fully agree with that. I think the alternative to the current system, that's what the goal of Bitcoin was in the white paper, to create an alternative system that is being achieved. And then that was the foundation and the fundamental front first point, the first position Bitcoin took. But a, a token like blockchain token, which is GBT, coming in 2022 September, uh, we are coming with one level further of what we can do specifically with nature, with natural
Yeah,
products, natural resources, and try to see. And we saw the gap between a pure blockchain only project and the real life impact it can have on the ground. So that is being merged as a hybrid with physical chain, physical tracking, and like in the case of Greenearth, the natural healthcare use case, when it starts, we would have various natural healthcare practitioners on Ganga project platform, and their medications or whatever counseling or advice or products that they give to users, they would all be tracked on the blockchain, and the feedback of users also will be tracked. So for the first time, you would have a very transparent system that is visible. Suppose you come there and you will see that for this kind of ailment or disease, these are the few or people who are on this chain who are giving some treatment, and this is how their feedback has been for whatever they do. Everything transparent. So that's today you have testimonials. Testimonials, you don't know whether they are real or how much real. So there's always that question. But that's again, we want to make that very transparent without a doubt. So if the testimonial is there, feedback is there, it is supported by a transaction on the chain, makes it very transparent of what is working and what is not working.
yeah, you basically take it to the next level, and of course, your ultimate aim is also to become fully decentralized. So yeah,
Yes.
I think these are all things that we can only applaud. And I love this quote. Not gonna pronounce the person's name because
Yeah, I'll do that for you. The one who plants trees knowing that he will never sit in their shade has at least started to understand the meaning of life. This is by Rabindranath Tagore, one of the the leading poets and philosophers of India. Okay,
ah,
and so he is the time he's from the 1940s 50s, when India was coming out from its previous era. So he's like two generations uh, behind, or let's say we are two generations afterwards, and it's a it's a very powerful. And in fact, it's not just this was something which Sandeep took for sharing as part of our sapling project, but there are many very interesting messages that Rabindranath Tagore has. So he's one of the very well known poets and philosophers from India.
it's from the time of Mahatma Gandhi, right?
Mahatma Gandhi, yeah, from that
Yeah,
time.
yeah. So let's
Okay,
go to the next
so
slide.
yeah,
The
next
vision.
slide. See, the vision is something that we have discussed earlier as well, and we just discussed in as we answered the questions. I'll just summarize briefly what the vision of the project is for those who are new. We want to bring value to undervalued natural products, natural resources, and knowledge that we just talked about by giving them a platform with verifiable authenticity and end-to-end transparency of blockchain. So basically, the value will increase when we can demonstrate through our greener blockchain that this is an authentic product or authentic service. That part we are able to verify and show everybody end to end verification. So at least uh, the person who is offering that product or service doesn't have to find some certification which is expensive, and or still have to depend on some other forms of collateral to show that he's authentic. Those who are authentic, it is Greener blockchain who will do the part of verifying and authenticating them, and therefore that value that is not being derived by them can be derived if they are shown to the world as that they are the authentic people, and we are taking that responsibility as Venus blockchain to verify them. And the second is that we want to build a global community of people who want to conserve nature and support sustainable development. And everyone involved in GBT project will get GBT tokens. Venus project will get GBT tokens. So this is exactly what we talked in the last few minutes about the current financial system, the new system. We want to build a global community of all those people who are willing to, take or put some effort or support the causes which are related to conservation of nature and rebuilding of ecology, and also sustainable development. I think that is the right word. We also are pro development. We are working on all of the new technologies and new ventures that anybody else is working, but we are standing for sustainable development because we want the next generation and the next generation also to have a green earth. And the last point here is that we want to be one of the most trusted blockchain projects, standing for authenticity and transparency in foods, natural products, natural resources. They all are a group actually. They all originate from nature. Some of them happen to be food, some of them happen to be used for cosmetics or some other needs, and some of them are resources like trees. Today we are talking about trees. If as a project grows, it's very likely, Nick, that in 5 or 10 years from now, Green Earth will be talking about a large scale conservation of fresh water, which is also a big resource that is at risk always. So those kind of things, natural resources. And our very clear goal from the very beginning has been that we want GEBT to be among the top 10 cryptos in user base. Currently, that stands between 5 to 10 million. If we get 5 to 10 million users, we will be in the top 5 as of now. So we that is our goal, and it has been constantly there that for the kind of vision that we have, we need to go there and be there in the top 10 cryptos by user base.
Wow.
Okay, and this,
That's quite a vision and quite a target to set yourself.
yeah, that's a target. Yes, yes. Nothing less than that will do justice for Green Earth.
Ambitious.
And yes, and the next one is a slide on Ganga project, which is just a summary. The main thing in this slide is we have talked about Ganga project in our previous calls as well. Ganga project is the strategic partner of Green Earth, and it is like Green Earth is a hybrid. The blockchain operated by Green Earth blockchain and the physical chain, e-commerce chain, and the entire set of people from farmers, self-help groups, the logistics, marketing units, and the consumers, the entire e-commerce chain, supply chain, that is handled by Ganga project on the ground. And that is how we can get the benefits of transparency to the actual people who are consuming foods and natural products. So uh, Ganga project has started getting some very positive testimonials from people who are seeing what it is doing now for the last 2 months since go live. And I just wanted to share one such feedback which came from a person in Himachal Pradesh. This is near the Himalayas. So for the first time, we are seeing the power of total transparency in food supply chain because the benefits are now coming to the farmers in remote parts of rural India. Now that is the kind of vision that we have, that the GBT token will flow and keep flowing till the end farmers wherever they are located. And over a period of time, their wallets will have a few GBT tokens. And if the project does well, the GBT token itself will be at a higher value, and we will keep buying back GBT tokens from the exchanges from whatever project income we have. That's the plan, to keep supporting the price using project income. And that ties in with our question that we said, that would you fight adulteration even if it meant lower profits? The answer is yes. And here we implement that by supporting the honesty and the honest chain by regularly using our income from the project to buying back those tokens from the market, so that all people who have GBT have some buying support coming in ongoing basis, and the token prices can stay supported. And if other people want to participate by buying tokens, then that token price can move forward. But the supply itself will be kept very tight, and therefore the prices can have their own path as long as we can support the downside by buying back. And the
Yeah.
next slide is, sorry, go ahead. You had a question?
No, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is called the unique opportunity for growth. I'll take a couple of minutes here. Uh, we have talked about this earlier as well, that
Yeah.
because India is the main market for growth for the Green Earth project in our very first, uh, let's say, iteration or approach with Ganga as our partner on the ground. So GBT has the unique opportunity to become the Bitcoin of India as we aim to create 5 to 10 million users for GBT token from rural India and urban India. And for most of these users, GBT will be their first crypto, and they will associate crypto itself as asset class with
Yeah.
with GBT, because
That's
these people
huge.
yeah, because they will be in remote parts of India, they've never heard of crypto. So the Green Earth blockchain project has another work called crypto education. So we'll have a team that is dedicated to educating all our users about crypto itself, because they would not be aware fully about crypto, so they would not know how to store, how to correctly uh, preserve or guard their tokens, and if they need to convert that into fiat, how to do. So there'll be a
Yeah.
team which we will have, and also we'll have videos in different languages to support them. But we'll also have a team for that, because there's a very strong need for blockchain and crypto education itself for the GBT user base, as we
And
see.
this, of course, works two ways because this will be very important for GBT itself because GBT will be their gateway to Bitcoin and crypto in general. But it will
Yeah.
also work in favor of crypto and Bitcoin because you're onboarding millions of people
Yes,
that
and I
way.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, they will be creating accounts in exchanges in
Yeah.
India, and so crypto exchanges also will get some new
Yeah.
users, and uh, so overall that awareness will be built and knowledge will be shared, and that whole innovation that is crypto and blockchain will move forward on a larger scale.
Yeah, that's very
And
exciting.
yeah, and GBT token trading on Indian exchanges with liquidity. That is the goal, because we want all the users who are receiving GB tokens as part of, let's say, the e-commerce transactions, the farmers, and various other stakeholders who get as part of the e-commerce transactions. If they do want to convert it into the fiat currency, we want liquidity to be available for them, and has to be arranged, and we are going to be working for that to arrange liquidity, and we believe that if we do that suitably at some point, it's not now or in the very near future, but whenever that 1 million user base has been crossed and liquidity has been provided on exchanges, then GBT can be used for conducting a lot more transactions in rural India than what we can envisage today. And that is the power of Green Earth blockchain token.
Yes, yeah, it's an amazing vision, and
Yeah,
you've
and
been working at it nonstop for years now, and it's coming to fruition.
yes, and the last point is that Ganga project, which is going to be the physical e-commerce project across India, has the unique opportunity to become a national movement, because we will be having people in every district and every block of India. There are 10,000 blocks, administrative blocks. So that basically a very strong pan India network of consumers, farmers, stakeholders, entrepreneurs who value the heritage, to preserve the nature and to build it. So we
And
have basically that.
could I
Yeah,
comment on that for 1 second? Because
yeah,
I
yeah.
think this is also amazing because that means you will become a political force in India in favor of crypto adoption, of course.
Political force is probably a very strong word, but
Okay.
I would say that the aim
Influential.
is to influence. Yes, because yes, I would say that because of the pan India presence that Ganga project would create,
Yeah.
the ability to take a message and deliver it across India, that itself has very high value. So I definitely agree that the scope or the influence that Ganga project and hence Green Earth can have with a specific message can be very high once we have a pan India presence, and this will come once we have about 10,000 validators across India. That is the threshold. So once we have
Yeah.
about 10,000 validators, we would be having that ability to send a message into very remote parts of India in real time basis almost, and that on in local languages in the way that those who are receiving it understand. So in that sense, yes, this also uh, creates a very strong foundation for a long-term foundation for Green Earth blockchain project, because uh, the GEBT token will have that much deeper roots. So if you think of Green Earth blockchain as a tree, this pan-India presence of people creates very deep roots.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's very hard not to like this project. It's
Hmm.
just, it's such an amazing concept and idea, and to see it, shoot root and grow. And yeah, I really hope that, all this will come to pass.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think it will be a force of good in the world.
Hmm.
So yeah, awesome.
Yeah, the next slide, I'll please go through that. This is the slide on Adopt a Sapling campaign, which is our star campaign or the main campaign for Green Earth and Ganga project. Here we covered it in our last call as well, but it is now live and being shared with people in larger quantity, like more and more people. And here the aim is to reach 100,000 sapling plantations and 100,000 saplings to be planted, and each sapling planted will release one GBT token for the user who is adopting that sapling. And this is the project which will give a large visibility to Green Earth blockchain project. Uh, and we will also hope to get about 50,000 users, new users for the project, assuming
Wow.
that we get an average of 2 saplings adopted for per user. That's our estimate. Because some people have come asking for 100 saplings to be adopted by just one user. So that kind of volume will come. And so therefore, so therefore we believe that even if it averages two saplings per user, we will get 50,000 new users for the
Yeah.
token, and that will also build a lot of awareness. So this is indeed our main campaign to build awareness for Green Earth blockchain project and GBT token for this year. And we will also have a few other campaigns similar to this one, but this we believe after discussing with various people is something that can really be a campaign. And I'd like to emphasize one point here, that these 100,000 trees in 10 years they will, let's say, be big trees, and at that point we the carbon credit trading model will also be evolved, and these 100,000 trees can be can be traded for carbon credits, and they would earn some income every year for just for their existence as large trees, and that income which these trees earn will be used for buying GEBT back from exchanges.
Interesting.
So that is the model that we have in mind, that whatever these trees, so all these people who are supporting this project today, they will get a 1 GBT each. And if they just hold that GBT while these trees grow over 10-year period, then from that point onwards, literally these trees are going to get an income every year from carbon credits, and the
Proof like
GBT
a
keeps
passive
getting
income.
bought back. Yeah. So basically, this adopt a sapling campaign or this whole project of these trees is literally building a future where the trees themselves are active members of the project.
Yeah, you're basically giving value to the tree itself as a tree doing
Yeah.
the things that trees do that we
Yeah. So
need.
the tree. So the 100,000 trees, as people as trees who are earning carbon credits every year and creating project income, they are like 100,000 team members literally who are earning something every year, and that income can be used for buying GBT token back from exchanges, thereby supporting the token prices.
Yeah.
And we do more like this. We keep, so once this campaign is over, we do another one like that. So the aim is that we are looking at a this whole, if you see the white paper also, this is a project which is set up for 20 years plus, like Bitcoin exactly. So the 10-year period is aimed for all kinds of fundamental growth, like these trees sapling projects and other projects which will come up with, to create the foundation for a project which has income streams coming in, those income streams that can be used for buying GBT back from exchanges.
Yeah, I often liken Bitcoin itself to a tree, sort of the root and the trunk from which all the other cryptos sprout forth. With Ethereum being like a main branch, but there's many others. And but yeah, I love this concept, and it's really beautifully thought out. So it's yeah, I love it. I cannot
The,
I cannot add anything
the,
else to it.
the next slide is a summary of what we already covered. It just says that we are going to approach the whole of India state by state. Currently, Green Earth project and is in central India and North India, Ganga project, and that is where the expansion is happening. But we will expand into all the states one by one, and we are also planning exchange listing of GBT token in India to create the GBT INR pair sometime this year. The exact time is not fixed, but that will provide the INR price, the fiat local fiat price for GBT, which will be very useful for all the users in India to have a reference point of price for the token that they are getting.
Yeah, yeah, and then of course you also have the plan eventually to also branch out to the rest of the world, as we discussed in earlier
Yes,
calls. Yeah,
yes. We have to establish the
yeah,
user base here, because
in
the use
India
cases are
first.
strong. Yeah, use cases are strong here. The benefits that the people can get is strong, as part of
Yeah,
the transparency. So the use cases are strong here. So we want to test that, and once it is successful here, we will have a very strong base already, and
yeah,
that can be used to then expand, because the same model can be applied in Africa, in Europe,
yeah.
South America, North, everywhere, one by one,
And
and
then
the
of
use
course,
cases could be new, different as well.
India has a lot of rural farmers and then huge population, and
Yes,
yeah, so that
yes,
that is
indeed.
yeah, and it gives. I think it was in one of our first calls that you pointed out that it gives these rural local farmers the ability to compete with big multinationals on
Exactly.
equal
Ex-
footing.
Exactly, because the Ganga project platform that we have built, it showcases them very nicely and their efforts. Uh, Unlike a typical e-commerce site where you just are literally your product and not your entire story, whereas here we are presenting them in their full background, with their full background, their location, their farms, all details. So so we are expecting that they will get rewarded, and the recognition that they will get also will be a huge part of their motivation to be with Venus blockchain, because they would be getting a recognition which they are not getting currently from other places.
Yeah, they will be united as a front.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing concept, and I love it. you know,
Yeah.
so it's not investment advice, it's not financial advice, but try to look into GBT and follow them on Twitter, of course.
Yeah.
This Green Earth. What is the exact handle? It is Green Earth slash or underscore AI.
Underscore AI underscore
Yeah,
AI.
yeah,
Yeah, we
and of
have
course,
that in the last slide, so we can
yeah,
put it
yeah.
the next slide. Yeah, the next
Oh,
slide, we can take. This slide has been with us for a while. It just keeps getting updated. It's our roadmap slide, and it just we it, the thing to understand is that uh, we are in Q1 2024. We have some project is live, team is in place, community is getting built, and campaigns to reach the first 100,000 users have started, and it's already live on two exchanges, centralized exchanges and one decentralized exchange. So there is that token availability for those who want to get it. And then we want to build further on this in the next year, and uh, and then further growth in terms of all parameters, mainly users. Our focus is to grow the user base and the benefits that the users can get. We believe that if we do that, all other parameters like volume, visibility, they all start coming together. So we will focus on users and helping users using the use cases that we have. And we believe that if we do and we do achieve the results that we are aiming for in terms of user base growth, then the GBT token has a huge upside from today's level of 1.1, 1.25. That's been the range of the price, because it's still very early stages and there is no loose supply of tokens anywhere. All tokens will have to be earned either through e-commerce transactions or by effort of team members or community members. So they'll make some effort and they get some token in return. So it's very similar to how the tokens are mined in Bitcoin. Just the mining, the way of mining is different here, effort or transaction based mining. So we do see
Yeah,
an upside in GBT and that upside will be the realization of the project's vision, that we have managed to create some wealth for those remote users and farmers and all people who are participating in the project and working with honesty and authenticity. And we have managed to, send GBT tokens to them over the years, and that token has now a high value. So that will be a very good, successful outcome for the project.
an additional reward. And then once this flywheel really gets going, it will be a unstoppable juggernaut, in my opinion. But
Mm. We'll have to build the base. The base is always taking longer time. It's always like that. And this is the last slide. Basically, it tells that GBT token price has been in a broad range between 1 and 1.3. The token is listed on Dextrade and Bindex, two centralized exchanges. And there's a Tiny Man, which is a decentralized exchange for Algorand tokens, so it's also there. The next slide is the last slide, which is just to say thank you to everyone who has watched. And on this, you can see our website URL, and you can see our email ID, team, and also the Twitter ID, which is greenearth_AI. So feel free to check out that. And once again, thank you so much for being with us on this call. And thank you, Nick, for giving the opportunity to share this presentation. We covered a lot of ground today in terms of concepts and thoughts, so it took a bit longer, but I'm very happy that we were able to do it in this call, because now we can share this video with many more people.
well, thank you, Shankar, and keep doing the great work that you do. And I really hope this project gets as big and amazing as you say and as you project outwards. I think it will, but this is just my personal opinion. I'm just a person. But I love it. I love what it stands for. I'm, of course, slightly biased here. So check it out yourself. Follow Shankar, follow Green Earth. We'll put it all down below the videos. And keep following these updates about Green Earth blockchain token.
Thank you very much,
And
Nick,
take
and
care.
thank you everybody. Yeah, thank you everybody for watching and giving your time. We really appreciate it. So on behalf of everybody in Green Earth Project, thank you again. Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.
Don't play. Then we'll just end it like this. Okay. Take care.
So yeah.